In Chapter 11, User Authentication with Express Sessions. Sessions are how we keep the user logged into our web app by keeping the information in the browser. Each time a user makes a request, information of that user is sent back to the server. The server thus knows which user is making that request and if they are logged in or out. The information kept on the user browser is called cookies. To implement Express Sessions, we install a middleware package called Express Sessions. We have installed Express Sessions. Next, import this middleware and index.js. So we are importing the Express Session module. In the above code, we register the Express Session middleware in our app and pass in a configuration object with a value to secret property. The secret string is used by the Express Session package to sign and encrypt the session ID cookie being shared with the browser. You can of course provide your own secret string. Now go to Chrome, refresh your app, and in Developer Tools, go to the Application tab, and under Cookies localhost domain, you will see that we have a connect SID which contains a hash value. So this is the hashed value. Implementing user sessions. To implement user session in logged in user.js, add the following line. So we add this line, request session user ID equals to user ID. We assign the user ID to the session. The session package saves this data on the user's browser so that each time the user makes a request, this cookie will be sent back to the server with the authenticated ID. This is how we know if a user is logged in. To see exactly what is in a session object, go to Home in controller.js folder and add the following line. So we are adding the console.log required session that will show what contains basically in the session object. So user ID will be shared within the server and browser. Thus, in each request, the server will know if the user is logged in or logged out. To implement checking for a session ID before allowing a user to create a block spot in new post.js, implement the following. So before a user can create, we check if we check the session ID, and then after checking the session ID, we create and then we redirect to. So we render the create page, and then afterwards, when the user is logged in, or after creating, we redirect to the authentication login. So we check if the session contains a user ID. If it does, then show the create post page. If it doesn't, redirect back to the login page. Protecting pages with authentication middleware. Now that we have authentication, we'll protect pages that we don't want accessed by users not logged in. For example, we only want logged in users to access the post new page. First, we create a custom middleware in middleware /auth middleware.js with the following code. So we require our user model, and then we have module exports where we find the user by ID, and then we have the required session user by ID. And then if there's an error, it goes to the home page. So in it, we fetch the user from the database with user find by ID. We check if the user is retrieved successfully or if the user doesn't exist, which we direct back to the home page. If the user is valid, we permit the request and carry on with next. Okay. Prevent login register if logged in. Currently, if a user is logged in, they can still visit the login or new user page, which shouldn't be the case. Similar to what we have for allowing only logged in users to create posts. We will create a middleware to check if the user is authenticated. and if so, prevent him from accessing the login new user page. In middleware folder, create the file redirective authenticated middleware. So we have module exports request response and next, and then if there's a required session user ID, if the user is logged in, we redirect to the home page. Conditionally display new post login and new user links. Continuing from the above section, other than redirecting to the home page where whenever a logged in user clicks on login or new user, we should hide the new user and login links if the user is already logged in. To do so, in index.js, add global logged in equals to null. So what the code does is the global.logged-in equals to null. We first declare global variable logged in that will be accessible from all our EJS file. Because the navigation bar exists in all our EJS files, they will each have to access logged in to alter the navigation bar. With app.use, we specify with the wildcard asterisk that all requests this middleware should be executed in it. We assign logged in to request sessions user ID. Now go to views nav by EJS and use an if statement around the new post login and register route. So we have if logged in and another if logged in. If logged in is null, we display the login new user links and hide their new post link. If logged in has a value, for example the session ID, we hide login and new user and display the new post link. And because all pages includes nav by EJS, it will apply across all pages. User logout. Currently a logged in user can't log out. Let's create a route for users to log out. In navbar, add the following. So this is the anchor link for the user to log out. The above code displays the logout link only if a user is logged in. We also specify the route for the logout link as authenticate logout. Next, go to index.js and create the route and its controller. Create the logout control in a new file with the code module export request respond request session destroy and redirect. So with the required request session destroy, we destroy all session data including the session user ID. We then redirect to the home page. We next apply the logout controller to index.js, so we require the logout controller or import it. Creating a 404 page for a non-existing route. We currently have no 404 page for a non-existing route. That is to say, we type localhost, okay, this link we get a cannot get error. Typically, websites serve a 404 not found page whenever a user goes onto an undefined route. In the following, we will create a 404 not found page for undefined routes. In views folder, create the not found EJS. Copy content from any existing EJS page as a starting template and change to its H1 header to 404 page not found. Next, after registration of all routes and at the end of the file, add. So here we render the not found page when the user goes to an undefined route. With the middleware like Route Express, will go through all the routes, and if it can't find one that matches, it will render the not found page. So in summary of chapter 11, we use sessions with Express Session middleware to keep users logged in to our app by keeping their information stored in the browser and then sending that information to the server each time a user makes a request. We protect pages reserved for logged in users with an authentication middleware and conditionally display new post, login, and new user links based on if a user is logged in or out. We also created a 404 page for non-existing routes.